This week we're going to take a look at the price changes in November soybean futures associated with the release of the August supply-demand report from the USDA. Then we're going to turn our attention to the latest crop conditions and weather forecasts here in the U.S., take a look at the latest export trends, and wrap things up with a long-term view of November soybean futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We moved into the critical month of August here, and the soybean market remains exceptionally volatile. We're going to start out this week looking at the price changes in November soybean futures associated with the release of the USDA's August supply-demand report. Let's take a look at that. Now, this will be the first official yield estimates, of course, from the USDA. Notice over the last 10 years here, not every year, but many years, there's been quite a bit of price volatility in November soybean futures. Here's the key message. That price volatility has been both to the downside and to the upside, notably last year. That's why it's critical that you continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your marketing positions in place prior to the release of the report on Wednesday, August 12th. Let's shift gears now and take a look at the latest crop conditions here in the U.S. Now, we saw soybean conditions stabilize this week, about 63% good to excellent. Notice last year at this time was 69%. Quite a bit of variability, some deterioration in the western corn belt, some improvement in the eastern corn belt, and unchanged in Iowa and Wisconsin. Let's take a look at the aggregate crop condition index for beans. Of course, that's stabilized this week. Notice from this point forward, however, we have seen years where we've seen some improvement in that overall index. We've also seen years where it's deteriorated. Let's take a look at crop progress now. Soybean setting pods. U.S. soybean setting pods on average increased about 25% from August 2nd to the 16th. We're currently at 62%, so that'd be pushing 90% here by the middle of August. Of course, weather during the month of August can be critical in determining soybean yields. Let's take a look at the latest forecast. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're starting out here looking at some additional rain this week. We're looking at rainfall starting Tuesday night and continuing through Thursday. The heaviest rain is projected to be in that pink area, if you will, maybe in excess of an inch of rain. What about temperatures? Now, temperatures are going to change back to a warmer than normal trend, hot in some instances. Later this week, starting Friday through Saturday, mostly in the south there. As we move further north, closer to normal. What about rainfall? Now, Saturday, Sunday forward, it looks like there's a setup moving in here where we see additional rainfall across the heart of the Midwest. If realized, that would be good for soybean pod set and pod fill. Let's take a look at rainfall forecast now over the next 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, you can see all that green area is above normal, and that's what would be very good for beans as they begin to fill those pods here in the month of August. Northern Plains, not so much. It's going to be a little bit dry up there in North Dakota, South Dakota, and also parts of Nebraska and Kansas. Let's shift gears now and look at export trends for beans. Now, as the crop year winds down here, we're about 18% lower than last year. Specifically looking at China here. China is well below the last 5 years. However, sales to China for new crop and unknown destinations continue to be reported. Buying trends remain a key wild card ahead of President Xi Jinping's visit in September. Given this uncertainty, it remains critical to manage market positions and avoid price prediction. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November beans. Now, November beans have backed off here. They trade above $12 a bushel here. Earlier in July, they're back below about $11.70 a bushel. Notice between now and harvest, though, we've seen years where the prices increased quite a bit and declined quite a bit. That's why it's critical that you continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 309-664-2300. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an update. And make sure to check out our video with a detailed market analysis of the USDA report on Wednesday, August 12th. This video will go live at 3 p.m. Central Time on our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.